All right, all right, all right, all right. I know my voice is not here, but I hope you guys can hear me. Rafiwa, Robert, can you just tell me if you can hear me? Otherwise, I might have to change mics to put one closer.
I can hear you perfectly well.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for that. There's always someone that... Rafiwa, just help Tapua get in, please. She's keep on battling to get in. Just give her the right password there. She's asking in the team chat.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just, I don't know if she's doing it lowercase, uppercase, and they're having a problem there. But the password never changes, so she shouldn't have a struggle getting in if she uses the right one. All right, folks. Like I said, my voice is giving problems again. As you know, I am so excited about Aureus that I talk to so many people on a daily basis. Sometimes I think my throat and my voice just takes strain. So if anyone here is a healer in whatever way and you've got something, bless me with a product or so. Just ask me what my address is and you can just bless me with something. Because I've tried everything I can and it just doesn't seem to work for me. So if you know of something that can help me here, please send it to me. I would appreciate it. But folks, tonight we are doing our shareholders presentation, meaning it's not only for those that are currently shareholders, it's also for those that want to become shareholders. So please, if you do know of someone that needs to understand what the business is about, we're asking you to bring them in, ask them to join. We are live now, but before I go live, or should I say before I start the presentation, I just want to play a quick little video for you. So I just want to make sure that my sharing is on. You have your real name? Yes. I believe I have my real name, so please don't delete me from the group. Please don't delete me from the group. I feel I have my real name there, so I hope you are fine with that. Alright, so I just want to get the video on first and then I will...
It was a young man.
Alright, let me just make sure everyone can see it when I play it and then I can share the screen. Alright, let me get it up. Alright, let me just make sure I can see what's going on here. Alright. Let me just check something quickly before I got things popping up on my screen. Alright, so folks, I just thought I needed to start with a little bit of motivation. I know it's not for me to motivate you. I know motivation, and I'll be honest with you, I've learnt about it, is not something that someone else can do. Someone can give you inspiration and they can share motivational messages with you. However, the motivation needs to come from within you. Alright, so this message or this little video that I want to play, it's only about a minute long, so just bear with me. I just want you to understand what is being said in this video, because to me it makes a lot of sense in the way it's explained, that this is how you need to be when you are doing whatever you are doing to try and make yourself a success. Alright, I'm giving away half of what the video is going to talk about, but I want you just to understand how serious you need to be about it, because I think a lot of us are still taking certain information, we're taking certain opportunities as side hustles. We call it a side hustle and we don't really give it the full effort that we can, because that's just what we see it as. But I want you to understand, I feel and I know what we are talking about here tonight is more serious than what a lot of us are making it out to be. And that's just my feeling, my gut feeling. But I just want you to listen to this video and maybe it will just help you change your mindset towards what I'm trying to say. Alright, so 1 minute, just give me a moment. I'm going to play this and we will hear what this is about. Alright.
It was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll. old man grabs his head and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. When he walked out to the water, it goes waist deep. So he's like, this guy crazy. I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He came, dropped his head in, held him down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? I said, I wanted to breathe. He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Folks, did you get the message there? Did you get the message? If you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. So I know each and every one of you here are living. If you don't want to stop breathing, then you would have the same outlook as to what you want to do with your success. I want you to do that as much as you are breathing. Think it and do it every single day of your life. I know there are some people here that are still looking at it and not really taking it seriously. But if you need to breathe to live, I hope you are doing this as serious as you need to breathe, because then I know you are going to make it to the top, because the bottom is overcrowded. I give away my payoff line, doesn't matter when, because I just know I hate to be at the bottom. I hate to be drowning. I hate to be tied up. I hate to be in bondage. I want to live on Freedom Valley, and I want to be fanatically free. Thank you. I think Sylvia is here again tonight. Sylvia, did I see you in the house just now? You can see I've put it next to my name because you gave me that thing on Monday or Wednesday when you gave it to us. I will carry on saying I am a fanatical freedom freak right now. I want to be free, but not just free like that. I want to be fanatically free. Be intentional. I can't remember the gentleman that spoke to us on Wednesday as well about it, when he said, you know, maybe it was a mistake according to Sylvia. I don't think it was a mistake, Sylvia. I don't think it was a mistake. You needed to tell us it like that. You needed to share the name Fanatical Freedom with us, because some of us are not fanatical enough about what we're doing. I know I am trying to change, but maybe I'm not fanatical enough. Maybe I'm not unique enough, because I know if I'm unique and I can offer someone else something, they will gravitate to me as a person more than someone else that is going to sound like everyone else, just trying to share a link with them. Oh, please come and join me. I have the next best thing. No, you want to be fanatical. You want to live and have the passion for what you're doing. I know there's leaders here. I know there's leaders here that are making a difference in people's lives. I know it. I'm working with some of you. I've seen some of you operating. Man, I cannot stop talking praises of just what I am noticing and seeing on a daily basis. All I can say is I am proud of each and every one of you that are making the effort to make yourself a success, because I know you are not a wholesale bottle of water. There is no ways I see you as a 3 rand bottle of water. I see you as an aeroplane bottle of water flying high above the sky at 30 rand, because people are willing to pay that price for you because you are valuable. That's how I see you. So that's me, my little motivation. But remember, like I said, folks, I can say it. You can listen to a video, but the motivation has to come from within you. You have to feel what we are saying or what you are hearing. You need to feel it and then start living it and being an example of that motivation you're hearing. So I hope everyone took that to heart, and I hope you can be open-minded. I hope you can take what you hear tonight and work with it. Make it something that you're going to live out and be successful with. All right. All right, no problem. I just thought there was a question for me there. All right, folks, I'm going to move into the presentation. Sorry, and I just want to apologize as well for those of you that were expecting Wednesday night's recording. Unfortunately, I had a technical issue that stopped me from recording the meeting. I do apologize about that, but I am recording tonight. So it will be posted later when I'm done. I do apologize about Wednesday not being available, but we've got enough other Wednesday presentation recordings where we can share those. I do know this last Wednesday was a great meeting. I do apologize that I could not share the result or the recording, but hopefully next Wednesday, the next one will be just as great, and we'll share some great insights with each other. All right. So that being said, folks, we are talking about Aureus Alliance Holdings. Man, I cannot be more happy than what I am today. You know, I had a meeting today with one of our top leaders that has grown a very large team. And obviously one of his leaders is obviously my co-host. I won't mention names. I think you all already know who that is, because I know she gets enough. Well, I've already given it away. I even gave away who. Yeah, anyway, you know who it is already. You know who it is already. I don't have to hide it. I'm not going to hide it. Rafiwa, come on. Just be happy that it's you. Okay? But in the meeting today, we had a little video call, or a little call with her upliner. And he even said in his own words that he's happy that she is where she is. He might have taught her and brought her to the business, but she's got to a point where she is doing maybe even better than him. And he's got a big team. Yes, he's got a big team. But to see that someone that you can bring in and educate and uplift and empower can then surpass you in what you're doing, that to me is empowerment. That is, you know, when you talk about ownership, that's what it's about, because you're giving them the power to own their destiny. You're not saying to them, hey, you are a three rand bottle of water. You're saying to them, listen, yeah, right now, come in like a $3 rand bottle of water, but you can be at the 30 rand level if you yourself put yourself there. So I just want to say well done to everyone else. I don't know everyone's stories. I don't know if there's other success stories. No one's really shared anything with me. I just know I'm working closely with Rafiwa and her team. So if there are other teams that have success stories like that, please do share it with me. I would love to also speak of your successes, because this is what it's about. There are communities, there are people, there are ways that others are also benefiting from the business. So if any of you have a story to share, please do so. Let me know about it, because I am not going to keep quiet. I cannot keep quiet about something that is as good as Aureus Alliance Holdings is to what it's doing for people. So sorry, I just thought I had to start with that, because I cannot keep quiet. I cannot keep quiet. I don't know how I'm going to stop saying what I'm going to say, but I just cannot. All right. So guys, Aureus Alliance Holdings, in the name it already says, Aureus is a name. Alliance means there's going to be building of relationships, and holdings, that name already implies it's going to have many ventures under that. If you look at the emblem, it looks almost like an upside down umbrella. So it means it's going to be a holding company. So everything is gold backed. It's going to be ventures. And when we're talking about gold backed, we're talking about real gold. Our core business is going to be the gold mining. And when we take that out of the ground, there's going to be real profits. And from that, real shares, or should I say real dividends, will be given to all of us as shareholders. All right. Now, everything is designed to create long-term, please listen to that, long-term shareholder value while uplifting communities. When I say uplifting communities, we're also going to speak about this a little bit in depth in a few of the slides, but it's not just the local community, it's not just the African community, but it's global. I mean, I'm seeing names here from, I know Ian was on here just now. I think he is still on, he hasn't dropped off yet. Yes, Ian from Canada. So that's top. If you look at the world map, that's top left. Then we've got Suriname in the house. We've got African countries. There's so many African countries, I can't even remember everyone where they're from. I just know there's Ghana, there's South Africa, I think there's Botswana, there's Kenya, there's a few from all different countries in in Africa. Then I know, let me just see if I can recognize anyone from India today. I think it was a holiday there for the last 2 days, so maybe they're offline tonight. But I do know normally we have someone from India in the house. but I don't see any names that look like Indian names tonight. We sometimes have people from Spain, from France, sometimes, because I know the French community is doing their own Zoom tonight, so that's probably why I don't see let me just see Nashi. I think I don't see Nashi here. Wait, let me just see. I'm getting to, yeah, Nashi's not on, so I think she might be on the French Zoom. So yeah, folks, so we do have people from all around the world. So when we say uplifting communities, we have 91 or up to 91 countries that are represented. So the global community is going to be benefiting, but we're also going to uplift the more local communities where the mining is going to happen, but I will explain that in one of the slides. All right, so folks, this company is thinking about a much bigger picture than what a lot of us even give it credit for. All right, so folks, moving forward, so what happens when you become a shareholder? You get offered a structured share ownership in a gold mining venture. As I said, that is the core business. Like we said, gold has been around for many years, and we know it's in supply and demand. It's one of the things that are greatly in demand at the moment. That's why the gold price has been increasing over the last few years, especially with a lot of the wars happening around the country, around the world. Gold is becoming more of a value, and it's more in demand. So folks, we are in the right place at the right time. All right, and then each share obviously in the company represents participation in the company's long-term, I'm going to say it again, second time now, long-term mining operations and profit distribution. So folks, just remember, when you become a shareholder in the agreement, obviously it says that when there are profits which come from mining, then we will share in it as shareholders. So there's no ways that I will get my shares and you don't get your shares. No, when there are shares to be shared, or should I say dividends to be shared, we will all get our share according to how many shares we have in the company. All right, so that being said, let's move on. So how are we going to do this? We are going to get eco-friendly wash plants going. At the moment, we are waiting for our first one to go live, which is a 100 ton per hour wash plant. I'm still waiting. JP got back yesterday to South Africa, but they said just give him the weekend to recuperate. He hasn't been with his family for 2 months. So they said he will be available, I think, by Monday or possibly a little bit later. I think they said something about the 7th. I think they said they're giving him off until the 7th. But I think he might be able to give me at least an idea of whether the wash plant is on the land, because we were waiting for it to be delivered in the last week or so. But anyway, folks, the first wash plant is going to be going live soon. It's going to be powered by renewables, meaning there's no blast mining, chemical mining, strip mining, tunnel mining, anything like that. It's all going to be eco-friendly. It's going to ensure clean, sustainable mining. And once we are done with mining on that specific piece of the land, then it will be rehabilitated and restored to a viable and natural state once again. All right, and then all production, because the company wants to be transparent, will be reported to shareholders on the back office. On your shareholders side of the dashboard, you'll see mining production tab. You can go there and you can have a look at how much and what is happening. They did say that they're going to have like a journal type thing where on a daily basis they will let us know what's going on. All right, that was what JP himself said. All right, just excuse me, I do feel my voice going away, so I'm going to sip on something while I'm doing the presentation now and then. So please, I'm not going to explain every time to say sorry. So if you just see me grabbing a cup, that's what I'm doing. All right, there we go. Giving myself a little bit of Vuma, because my Vuma is not there tonight, not all the way. All right, so folks, what is it that you're buying into? Because, you know, most companies want to have something tangible, so to say. Now, it's all good and well that we say, okay, buy shares in the company. That's the company itself, yes. But where is it then going to do these mining operations? All right. Well, for now, we have a 250 hectare mining site. It's a greenfield site in Kadoma, which is in Zimbabwe. It contains a minimum of 2.16 tons of placer gold in the top 80 centimeters of soil. That's the top 80 centimeters that has been tested. However, there is talks that they're giving us up to 8 meters down that we're allowed to mine. So if you see the top 80 centimeters is only 10%, Imagine the other 90% of the soil that we haven't tested. How much could be there? So folks, we are sitting literally on a gold mine. All right, the first wash plant, like I said, will be going live soon. And then by December this year, the end of December, we hope to have another 10 wash plants up and running. And that is why Donovan has been in Germany for the last few weeks. He's been trying to secure a deal for us. It has been in the updates. I'm not going to play the updates again today. I will try and post a half an hour update video on the YouTube channel. I just haven't had a chance to upload it yet, but I will do that, and then I will just make that available for everyone to see so that you can watch it in your own time. I'm not going to take half an hour of the meeting again and play that video over and over and over. I feel you can just watch it on your own time in the back while you want to, wherever you want to do it. But I will post that half an hour update video between JP and Donovan giving us updates. But one of them was why Donovan was in Germany. He explained it, that he's trying to secure a deal for us to get our 10 wash plants on the land. And that being said, also the yellow machinery that goes with it, because currently the company is paying, renting the machinery we're using, so it's quite expensive. So yes, there are a lot more expenses being put out at the moment due to the delays and everything, but we are projecting to have get an output of about 3.5 tons per year in 2027, and at the end of 2027 we're hoping to have 30 wash plants on the land by that time. And obviously, because we are expanding every year, that's why the dividends keep going up from year to year to year, because a lot of people don't understand where and why are the dividends increasing. It's because we are expanding as we're going along, which I will speak about later when I get to the 10-year plan of the company. All right, so just to let you know as well, the dividends that you are seeing on the website, the payouts and the calculations are all estimated dividend potential based on the production model. Let me explain what I mean by production model. So the company knows how much gold there is, first of all. We can also determine what the gold price is, because you can work out a scenario of the current gold price, right? Because that does affect the dividend as well. But then we look at how much mining we're going to do in the day, 10 hours. We know how much the capacity of the machine is. It's a 10 ton per hour wash plant or a 100 ton per hour wash plant. We know then how much we can put through it on a daily basis. We know the recovery rate generally of the soil, how much we have to put through to get so much out, or what. So that all goes into calculation, and then they work out, okay, so if we run for so much per day, this is what we should be taking out. So that is the calculation model, or the dividend potential production model that we're using. So all of these calculations that we're giving or we're putting on the website are with that in mind. It's not to say that's exactly what you'll earn. So please don't take it to heart when we say, oh, you should get so much, but then you don't get that. Remember, we always said it from the start. Dividends are tied to production. So if there is no production, we cannot expect dividends, all right? We are working very hard to get some production done before July, to give everyone between July last year to the 6th of April, or should I say the 5th of April this year, sorry. The 5th of April this year are all those people that will qualify for July dividends. All right. Everyone between July, or should I say April the 6th until now, are still going to qualify for October when October gets paid. All right. So folks, that is how the dividends for now are working. I will explain a little bit later the dividends, but that's just like we said, the model that we're giving you. So at this example that we put on the left hand side of the slide, at 3.5 tons annually, if the gold price is at 130,000 per kilogram, you would get approximately $178 per share. Now, I do know that the gold price is probably sitting at a little bit higher than that currently. I always struggle with connection on this laptop of mine to get the gold price, the current one. But it looks like it's still at about 146. The last few days, it's really been sitting around about at that same price, 146,000. So it's about $16,000 currently, more than where it was when we did this slide originally. So that just means that the gold the share price will probably increase as well by a few dollars as well because of that. All right. So folks, that is just like I said, a estimated dividend based on the production model. All right. So moving on. All right. So how are dividends going to be paid and how are they going to be, created and stuff like that? So let's first talk about the availability of them. What does dividends mean? Dividends are payments from company profits. As I said, mining has to happen. All right. There cannot be dividends paid if there are no profits that come from mining. So they are only paid when profit is available. That means the mining had to happen, the selling of the gold had to happen, and then the profits will be shared. And then if Aureus Alliance Holdings earns profit, and I said this to you, we all get paid dividends, right? So you get paid what's due to you according to how many shares you have. All right, so if you go to the top right of the screen, how dividends are created. There again, very simple, it puts it out step by step. Gold or other minerals, because there may be other minerals in the land, right, are mined. They are processed and then sold for revenue. Just bear with me, sorry, something is just popping up on my screen. Okay, no, it's fine. All right, once it's sold, once the gold is sold and the revenue is made, then the expenses are paid for the company, whatever expenses that it had. Then whatever is remaining, that will be shared amongst all 1.4 million shares, because that is what publicly is available. All right, nothing else or nothing comes from selling of new shares. In other words, if I sell a share to you, that does not determine if you are or are not going to get dividends, because that's not how it works. The dividends come from the mining that has to happen. All right. So that being said, folks, when dividends are paid, dividends are linked to production milestones. So right now we have 3 different milestones. The first one being, right now we're in the first, which is between 0 tons to 49,000 tons, or 49 tons, sorry. That means when we are between that, we will get paid 4 times a year. I like to call a short name for it called JJO. That means January, April, July, and October. Then if we hit the second milestone between 50 tons and 99 tons, then we will get paid twice a year, and that's in April and October. Or sorry, if you want to remind yourself a shorter version, sing the song AO, which means April, October, AO, it's off to the bank I go. Because I think you will be going to the bank quite often to go and spend your money. All right, and then if we get to what I believe will happen in 9 to 10 years from now, when we get to this third milestone, which is 100 tons or more, folks, then you will be getting a dividend once a year in April. All right, so that is going to be an awesome, it's just after the beginning of the year, but it's good enough for Easter, and then it sets you up for those June holidays for the kids, and you should still have enough money going into Christmas, because I know you shouldn't be able to spend all that money by that time, but maybe some of us will. I can't speak for everyone, but I know I shouldn't spend all the money. Come on, man. I've got to live a good life, and maybe put that money to good use. But yes, we will be earning once a year, nice, good amount. All right, folks, just to clarify, the last few months when I've been presenting, there was a little bit of a mistake. There was a little bit of mistake in this section of the presentation. Let me just, can you see where I am right now? It says your shares purchased must work for 3 months. Remember, up until now I've been saying 5 months, and JP, our CTO, realized that there was a little bit of a mistake, and he admitted that it was his oversight, that he did give me the presentation, but he forgot to tell me it's supposed to be 3 months. And all this time I've been editing things and stuff like that, he never saw that oversight. So I do apologize from my side as well as his side. We do apologize for all the wrong calculations we were giving you up until the last, I think, 3 times I've presented now. I've tried to tell you that this changed. So it's now 3 months. So when you put in money to the company, whatever date you put it in on, or you buy your shares, you've got to wait 3 months. 3 months after that, then you will get your first dividend. So wherever that third month ends, look where it is, and the next dividend date or payout time is when you will receive your first dividend. All right. So just to give you an example, if you buy in April, or those that bought in April, you won't qualify for July, but you will then get in October. All right. And then it carries on doing the cycle: January, April, July, October, January, April, July, and October. All right. So how dividends grow, just to let you know, as I said, the company is talking about expanding. So as the company grows, profits can increase, because clearly that more production, or when the company expands, more production will happen. Because more production happens, those milestones get bigger, and because the milestones get bigger, obviously the output gets bigger. The bigger profits mean a bigger dividend pool, and over time dividends per share can become higher because of that. Alright, so production also affects our dividend price. So that is how dividends grow. Just so that people know, when you see that the dividend is increasing from year to year to year, it's because of more production happening, expansion that has happened as well through that time. Alright. So that is why your dividend price increases, just to let everyone know that still does not understand it. All right. So folks, the benefits of becoming a shareholder, and I really do love this, because I know up until now I have never really found any company out there that has allowed me to earn lifetime dividends, because a lot of them just don't stick around, or they don't last, they don't have a sustainable model. Whereas when you're talking about a company now that's going to do mining of a real product, or should I say, this is a mineral or an element that is in the land that we all know has a supply and demand. As I said, it's been around for many years, since the earth was created. So it's not something that was just made yesterday or last century, or 500 years ago. No, this was made many years ago, in creation time. It's been there for all these years. This is a virgin piece of land that hasn't even been developed for you, residential, in Zimbabwe. So whatever God put there in terms of gold is still there for us to take out. So folks, we are literally going to have lifetime dividends from this piece of land that we currently have. We also get real equity ownership. Real equity ownership in this company. That is something that was big to me, because I have never in my life been able to become an owner of a company. And I know a lot of us will sit there with dreams and aspirations of being better and doing something with our lives, and maybe one of those things were, I want to start my own business, I want to be successful. But we never ever get to doing that, because there's a lot of red tape in the background to start your own business. I do know there's a few here that maybe have done it for themselves and started their own businesses, but I'm sure you can testify that it's not an easy process. So in this way, you put money into the company, all the red tape is taken care of, and the money goes to work for you. The money goes to work for you. So it's a smarter way of putting your money to work for you, as opposed to you buying your own business and then having to deal with all of the red tape and worry about the stuff and still stressing, but not maybe making profit. Because I can tell you now, I honestly believe whatever money you put in, I think you will make back within a year. That's just me. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I believe whatever money you put into the company right now, you should get it back within a year. That's just my honest feeling. All right. Then long-term asset growth. As I said, the company will always be expanding. It will be growing. It will be scaling to greater places. And when it does that, obviously the assets of the company will grow. And then number 4, control of your shares. Now that only comes into effect after all shares are sold, which is all 1.4 million shares. And then all phases are also done, which should be by July next year. All right. For now, the transfer window and the selling of shares cannot happen. All right. For now, we have to hold the shares until that time. But then once everything has been sold and all phases are done, you will have 3 options. You can continue to hold and receive your dividends when they are due. You can choose to transfer if you want to. As long as a person is 18 years or older, you can do that. And then you can choose to sell your shares as well. That is also up to you, but for nothing less than $1,000, because that is what the company said. It will be the minimum value once it's on the selling marketplace at that time will be at $1,000. So right now you are buying a share currently at the current price of $40, but it's actually valued at $1,000. Even though the dashboard doesn't show that right now, because it's taking it, the calculations are working at the current price, but it's actually valued at $1,000, because that's when it will be sellable. That's the value it will be at that time. So if you look right now, you might have 100 shares to your name, but they're not worth 4,000. They're actually worth way more than that. All right. So folks, just look at it like that. You buying something now, but at a much greater discount than what it's actually going to be worth when you eventually have a real value to it when it's sellable. All right. So folks, shareholder benefits as well. We all know that are already shareholders. We've been added to groups. Maybe our leaders have added us to their own little groups. But in general, there are global groups that we have. There are maybe area groups, for instance, like India has a group, Suriname team has a group, the French community has a group. I think there's one for Kenya, I've heard, and I think there's one for Botswana. So there are various groups, and some leaders have their own groups that are like global themselves, because they have team members all over the world. But sometimes that is the case. But you will be in a shareholder benefit group of some sort, where you will get to know about whatever's happening in the company, whether it's coming from the main group and then it gets given to the leaders of those groups. But you will get and hear of things as a shareholder that non-shareholders would not hear of. So that is the benefit of being a shareholder. All right. Shareholder benefits. You get those updates and news and any updates through those groups. All right. And then just to clarify, sorry, my voice is going again. Just 2 seconds. I don't know if I can stop being excited, because I don't know if it's the excitement that gets my voice going, but it's anyway. Folks, you earn dividends because you own shares. That is as simple as this business model is. There is no subscriptions, there is no monthly fees, there's no affiliate registrations that you have to do or anything like that. You just have to buy shares, and whenever you buy the share, it's that once-off payment, right? However, when I say once-off payment, I don't mean you can only buy shares once. I'm saying that specific share. If I buy 10 shares today, I only pay for those 10 shares that once. I don't go and repurchase again those same 10 shares. No, I pay once off. That's what I mean by once off. But that's as much as I do. I don't have to go now and pay registration fees again, or platform fees or software fees now to access the site, to see my dashboard. No, you're only buying your shares and that's it, and you become a member, because you will have access to a dashboard where you will see everything, and that is also where the purchases are initiated. You cannot buy shares if not done through the Aureus website. So if anyone tries to give you a payment link that does not initiate from the platform itself, don't send them money. Don't follow that, please. Be safe. Make sure you activate every payment from the payment platform within the Aureus website. All right. It will either give you the crypto option, or if you're South African, you can use the EFT option. But that's the screen that you'll see. There's no other way that payments are made to the company, because if you do that and you follow someone else's link, you're paying them and you're not buying your shares through the company. All right, so just be careful about that. All right, so folks, you do not need to refer anyone. You do not need to join the affiliate program, as I said, and you do not need to participate in selling of shares to earn your dividends. Your dividends come from your shares that you have purchased, depending on how many, and not your referrals. All right, I hope that clarifies and everything, all the benefits. All right. So folks, as I said earlier on in the first slide, or in the introduction slide, we are going to be uplifting communities. Now, one thing I do know, what I really enjoy about what the company is doing, we are going to a rural area of Zimbabwe that hasn't been touched for many years. while Zimbabwe has been there for, before I was born even, it was there. Most of us were still young when Zimbabwe was there. That piece of land has been there for many years, but it has not been developed. So that means for us to mine in that area, the company had to think a little bit ahead. So how can we now expect that community to be able to mine for us if we don't give something back? So the company thought of empowering them using Richard Branson's philosophy. Richard Branson in the Virgin a group of companies, what he does is he knows if he looks after his employees and keeps them happy, they will be happy to work. When they're happy to work, they will look after the clients and the customers, and then those customers will be happy to then pay whatever is due to Virgin. In that way, he will make his money as the big CEO at the top, and they will make money obviously as a company. So the same thing here. For us as shareholders to benefit from mining happening, we can't just have this piece of land and then expect people to, do the work when we're not empowering them. So the company is going to build eco-friendly, world-smart villages, which are going to provide jobs, food, clean energy, clean water, clinics and schools. All right. So each share that you purchase is supporting this healthcare, this education and sustainable development. When I say sustainable development, remember, we want to make sure that that community is empowered to then do whatever mining has to happen for many years. Not just right now. We want to make sure that they are empowered. So that's why the schools come into play, the clinics come into play, a way for them to earn food or make food, for instance, maybe farming or whatever on the side. And obviously with all of that comes jobs. There will be clean water and that as well, because like I said, it's underdeveloped areas, but we want to give back to them and empower them. All right. So our mission is to uplift communities across Africa, but like I said, greater communities as shareholders as well. So the wheel turns, we look after them, they look after us, and as Aureus, we as a company are looked after. So it's not just about mining gold, it's also about doing this on a more local level in those communities that are doing the mining for us. So I hope everyone understands that. I can't say I want to win the soccer World Cup right now, because I know I cannot play soccer anymore. I played soccer many years ago. Not to say I don't understand soccer and I can't play. I just can't be as effective to play soccer right now to win the World Cup, because I'm man alone and I need a team. However, I will never be able to even play right now. So if I say I want to win the World Cup, I need a team. So the same with us here. We want to mine, but many of us as shareholders cannot mine. So we need that little team of ours to be able to perform. And that is where these eco-friendly, world-smart villages come into play. We are only empowering them to be able to do what we need them to do to make us as shareholders, the greater community, also happy in what we are offering. All right. So folks, it's all good and well. It's on paper. There's the text is there. The pictures are there. But hello, where is this happening? And have you been there? And have you tested? Yes. All right. This is proof of work pictures of the background work that's been done. All the testing, all the site visits, all the connections that we've made, and then some of the work that's been done in the background already with some of the plant machinery. So let me just walk you through some of these. So this is one of the first communities Donovan met with. This is one of the leaders in their community with a pink and white shirt. That's Donovan over there, our CEO. For those that don't know him, that is Donovan over there. Yari is standing again on the left hand side of this picture, but this is Mr. Wayne Williams. Mr. Wayne Williams is the owner of Yagden Engineering. He's the one that is going to be making all of our wash plants. His company is the one that's going to be engineering all of our wash plants. All right. This gentleman in the pink shirt and this one at the bottom here in the black shirt are the two gold experts. They are Indian by nationality. I'm just not sure if they're from India or if they stay in Zimbabwe but are Indian, but I just know they are Indian by nationality. So they are very highly skilled. They know what they're doing and they know what they're talking about. As you can see, this man already found a rock with some silicon or a silica rock, and he believed there was gold in it, but when they then tested it, you can see he has the pan test. You can see there's already gold flakes showing there. They are a lot larger than the flakes of sand. So you can see there's a definite sign that we are sitting literally on the gold mine. Right. Yeah, you can see JP in this picture and some of the other team members here. Now this picture over here is very important, folks, because I still believe a lot of people don't understand the importance, especially with that video that's been posted recently. Folks, please ignore that video. The company has been given the go-ahead and everything is in place for us to mine. That video is just going to become, it's going to create negativity in the community. We don't need that. You don't need to be negative. Everything that the company needs has been put in place for us to be able to mine. One of them being, this gentleman is the advisor to the president of Zimbabwe. They are aware of everything we're doing. They are happy with what we are going to do, because like I said, up until now, this piece of land in Zimbabwe has not been done, developed, or anything happened for the community in that area. They are very happy with what we are proposing we are going to do to that area, and also the benefits of what it's going to do for that area and those communities. So they have given us the go-ahead. Why would they stop us from helping them develop something that they need in their country? So I don't see why you guys are allowing negative media right now that has really, I don't want to say it doesn't have facts, don't get me wrong, but I feel what they're talking about, what they are actually targeting is the Zamas more than us. Because yes, we are starting out and we're small for now, but we're not a small company. We are a company with a larger, bigger picture that we're trying to create, but we are not those small companies that I think they're referring to, which are meaning the Zama type of things. We are not those. All right. So folks, moving on. All right. This is the picture. Sorry, something's making a noise. I don't know if it's on my Zoom or on my phone, but I'm not seeing anything on my phone. I'm not sure where I'm hearing the noises from, but it's popping the whole time and distracting me. Sorry about that. All right, folks. This picture on the top left, you can see how green the grass is, and that is the picture that these experts, here's the expert, he thought Donovan was sending him photoshopped images of this area. So they had to come themselves, and as you can see, when they were here, the grass was just as green. Now, the green color of the grass has got something to do with iron levels. I'm not a geologist, or what do they call it? What's the other word? These people that do the mining tests and stuff, I just can't remember their names. That's definitely not my industry. But they say it's got something to do with the iron levels, and because of iron levels, there's also a high concentration of other minerals, being gold one of them. So when they came to test, like I said, you already saw the pan in the previous slide. They confirmed what they thought was in the land with all the tests that they did. Now these pictures over here, these two here, and the two at the bottom here, these are what we call Zamas or artisanal miners. They are miners that are mining illegally. They don't have licenses to mine. So they are potentially a problem. But at the same time, they could be a benefit to the company. I'm not going to talk too much on the benefits, because that's obviously for the COO, Watson, to deal with. If he feels that they are beneficial, he will use them. But just so that we know, this is why we went and saw what they're doing, just so that we know where they are, who they are, and things like that. But that is not our piece of land that they're mining on. But we don't want them to do that to our piece of land. So this is also why, when I said we have the tested data for what is in our land, that document is available. We have it as a company. But we do not make it publicly available for everyone to see, because it has the company's location, the mine's location on it. And if we put that in the public place, anyone can get hold of it, and we will have problems like this. So we cannot make that available. But we do, and we can tell you that there is enough gold on the land for you to know that you're making a valuable decision. All right. So as you can see, there were various other pictures taken. After being on the land, sorry, I'm just going through these a lot faster because my voice is going, and I want to get to the end of the presentation still having my voice. All right, folks. So after being on the land, we went into the working class community, because I know it's not going to be beneficial to anyone starting a business in an area and not allowing those locals to know about it before they go global like we have done. So we went into Zimbabwe, into the local communities, to companies. You can see there's a big group of people there. We went around breakfast tables, lunch tables, dinner tables. Doesn't matter what time, there were a lot of discussions happening. We went to boardrooms and had business meetings there. We were in company offices, in office spaces, and then also in people's private homes even. So we built connections, all right. So we did build local before we went global. So they do know about us. All right. This is pictures of when JP and Donovan in, I think, December, just before all the rain really started. They went and acquired our first wash plant. All right. Now this is the 10 ton per hour wash plant here at the bottom right, third from right. You can see the 10 ton per hour wash plant. Now, for those of you that have seen the 100 ton per hour wash plant, you can see it looks totally different, bigger size. And we all saw when JP showed that picture to us, a tall gentleman was standing in the wash plant, in the trommel, which means it's a lot larger than this. So, yes, that's the slip where we paid for just under 50,000 for that wash plant. And yeah, you can see, folks, this was taken in December, but you can see it was already starting to rain. There you can already see on this day when the picture was taken, there is a wet piece of ground here, which already told you that it was raining that day. Alright, little did we know that it was going to affect us negatively going into our planned months of opening our wash plants. Alright, so this was when we were collecting the 10 ton per hour wash plant. They were just showing us how to put it together, how it works. Everything that needs to be done in and around the wash plant. There you can see the sluice box that will have the miners moss mat in it to collect the dirt, should I say the gold, when it runs through there. Right. This is the company Bucky. You can see JP standing in front of it. You can see it's got branding on it because Donovan is very big on branding. We all know and we've all seen pictures of his vehicles, everything that Donovan does. He's very big on branding, and I know there is no doubt in my mind that I know wherever Aureus is involved, there's going to be big signage to show that Aureus is there. So folks, be very proud that our CEO has that in mind, because I know a lot of companies, they will open up a business and you will drive past that business every day and you won't even know they're there because they are stuck away like a needle in a haystack. But that's not Aureus. Aureus shows people where we are because of all the branding that the company makes sure that there is. Alright, folks, these pictures at the bottom here are very important for two various reasons. The first reason, it was our groundbreaking ceremony of where we were going to put our first wash plant. However, I said we're going to put our wash plant. We couldn't put our wash plant there because what happened was when the rains came, it got flooded over here. And we cannot put a wash plant closer than 50 meters from a water source. So because the water came up to this point, we couldn't put the wash plant there. So that, in a way, the rains were a blessing in disguise because they taught us where we're going to have problem areas regarding the water and the legality of us needing to be 50 meters from a water source. Alright, so that was a blessing in disguise. I honestly feel out of all bad things, good things can come. So it now taught us where we can and cannot build things where we are planning. Alright, here again, the same leader that we had in the beginning is just at a different stage, and you can see already the camp was starting to be built. You can see this security fence at the back. So we started putting things in the camp where we are working. So yes, the community, the first community we're working with. All right. Yes, Donovan, already thinking of the 10-year plan. I can tell you he's thinking way ahead because, folks, the 10-year plan doesn't just stay in Zimbabwe at the 250 hectare site. Donovan and the company already wants to see and look at acquiring land and controlling land of 6,000 hectares of mineral-rich land across Africa wherever we can find it by 2035. That is huge. That is huge. If we already look at what we have available in our 250 hectare site, which is only a fraction of 6,000, and we look at the value of that and what it's going to make us. Imagine now if we get all this other land in the next 10 years, just what that's going to do for us. Folks, this is huge. This is huge. All right. This is not something that is just, oh, we want to do it for a year or 2 years. This is huge. That's why we say 10 years plus. All right. So each year we want to put out 20 new wash plants. This will enable us to launch each year, or should we say we want to launch the 20 new wash plants each year. And this will help us to scale to 100 tons annually. Sorry, I can feel my sinuses blocking up here. I don't know why, and that's why I'm battling to breathe right now. So each plant is built for sustainable and scalable gold production. All right. So like I said, this is our 10-year plan to get to 100 tons annually. And by that stage, like I said, we'll get paid once a year. But we know we're going to be making good money by that time when that happens. All right. So where are we currently? We are currently in phase 7 of 19, or should I say 20 phases. The first one was not a numbered phase. It was our pre-sale phase. But we're currently in phase 7. We have in total 1.4 million shares to sell, but in this phase currently we have 679,694 shares available for $40 each, or for the South Africans just short of 750 rand. It's about 748 rand per share. All right. So we are releasing all the shares over 19 different phases. We call it the phases of fortune. I will explain it in 2 slides from now. But just when you purchase shares, like I said, as a South African, you can make a EFT payment to the bank using South African currency. But if you are not South African, or if you want to, you can pay through crypto. Then there are 4 options. You can use the Polygon network, the Ethereum network, the Tron network, and the Binance network. They all will receive a USDT. So if you've got USDT on those networks, you can send it through to the company. You will then get a NFT share certificate. Once everything has gone through and verified and all of that, you will see an NFT certificate that is downloadable on your back dashboard. I will explain more about the NFT certificate on the last slide of the presentation. All right. So folks, when you buy shares in the company, the money is put to various sectors within Aureus. 35% goes to Aureus, which is taking care of the mining part of the company. All right, that's Donovan. Donovan will be in charge of that. Then 25% goes to Sun. That is JP's department. That takes care of everything like the website, the marketing material, anything to do with promotion of the company, and information you need about the company is taken care of by Sun. Then Ubuntu Helping Hands Foundation gets 10%. That is what's going to be doing the eco-friendly World Smart Villages. That's a combination of JP and Donovan that will be controlling that. Sorry. Then the company puts money aside for the affiliate program and the Gold Diggers competition every month. And that is then 15% each of those things get. So we do know that the company will grow better through me and you using our own KLT factor, building people through speaking to people, rather than them paying money to an advertising platform where it doesn't get the reach that we need. It's better if I speak to my friend, because my friend will listen to me as opposed to an advert that he sees from something he doesn't even trust. So that's why they put this money aside, to make sure the company grows bigger and better through our efforts of talking about our stories and our testimonies of using the company. All right. So that being said, folks, the phases of fortune, as I said, I will explain. We're currently in phase 7. As I said, 679,694 shares at $40 each, or 748 rand. All right, depending on how you're going to pay. Our next phase is going to be phase 8 on the 5th, or should I say the 6th of June. We're going to introduce another 50,000 shares, and the price is going to increase to $45 per share then. All right. And I think it's in rand value, that will be 848 rand, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So just to clarify, between phase 7, which is now, and phase 9, every time the price increases on the 6th of the month, it will increase by $5. But by the end of July, when it goes to August the 6th, then the phase will go from phase 9 to phase 10. it's going to jump by $50. So it will be $50 in phase 9. But when it goes to phase 10 now, it's going to become $100. So it doubles. Then when it's in phase 10, it's $100 now, right? So when it changes the next month, it's going to double again by another $100. So it becomes $200. And then it's going to stick on that increase every month of $100 up until phase 19. All right. So I hope everyone understands that. So folks, when you are a shareholder, you will earn quarterly dividends for now in the beginning. And this is once the mining productions start, which will be shortly in 2026. All right. That will be January, April, July, and October is those quarterly dividends. All right. Aureus shares will also only be sellable once all 1.4 million shares are sold, and that no later than July next year. All right. That will also be when you possibly can also transfer shares. All right. And then if you are to sell your shares, this is where the NFC certificate comes in. NFT, sorry, I'm saying it wrong. NFT certificate comes in. This means it's a digital certificate, and because of that, it allows us to securely track your ownership. So what this means is, you bought shares now, you are the original share owner. If you were to sell your shares, there will always be a 5% commission that goes to you as the original shareholder of those certificates, or of those shares, should I say. So let's say you sell your shares to me, I pay you $1,000, you then get 5% of that for selling the shares to me over and above what you're already getting. Okay. Then, if I sell the shares to Robert, even though I sold it to Robert, you still, as the original shareholder, get 5% again because if you were the original shareholder. So while you are living, you still get lifetime sell commission from people that sell your shares, if I can put it like that. All right, so that is available and will be available once the marketplace is available, and once we sell shares, we will see the tracking of that obviously will happen. All right, and that's why we have digital NFT certificates. All right, folks, that is the end of the presentation, so I'm just going to stop sharing for now. I want to open the floor to anyone that has a question, or if you have a testimony, or if you have a comment, or if you want to share something motivational with us. We would love you to do that, because we're going into a weekend and we know a lot of people have had a tough week. So if anyone's got something positive to say, something motivational, or has a question, please raise your hand so we can ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your question and we'd love to answer you, so that we can all learn from these questions. All right. Does anyone have a question? Anyone have a question? All right. I'm not seeing any hands. I'm not seeing any hands. All right, Eric, yes, you can unmute yourself, Eric. You can unmute yourself, Eric.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, hi.
Hello,
Sorry, I can hear you. I'm just muting myself because I know there's an echo normally, but I can hear you. You're slightly soft, so just get closer to your mic.
yeah. If I have a question. If a new buyer purchase one share this month or next month, will he also receive that same amount in January?
Okay, I'm not understanding the question 100%. All I heard was, will I receive the same amount in January? Was that what you said at the end there? I didn't hear it 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Sorry. Folks, very good question from Eric. Eric, I'm just going to mute you for now because I'm also hearing an echo on my side. Sorry. Very good question. Folks, the CEO has decided all those that are eligible for July payouts will get paid the dividends, and it will not be shared amongst all 1.4 million shares. So let's say only 100,000 shares were eligible for July dividends. Whatever profits come will only be shared amongst those 1,000 or 100,000 shares. Then whoever qualifies for the October and is eligible for October shares, only those active shareholders will then get the profits divided amongst them, and not all 1.4 million shares. And the same with January. Everyone that up until July, I believe, will still qualify for January. So everyone that right now, you want to jump in as soon as you can, because the January dividends are probably going to be very nice. So you want to try and jump in and get as many shares as you can, because not all 1.4 million shares are going to receive. It's only the active eligible people in January that will get the dividends from the profits being shared to them only, and not all 1.4 million. So that was a decision by the CEO, just to say he understands we've had delays. He understands people are saying they didn't get money and this and that. But the company could have kept all the other money that wasn't publicly bought. They could have kept it. But they said no, they're going to rather say give it back to every one of us. So that to me was also a nice gesture from the CEO to say that he's going to do that. So folks, does that not give a no-brainer situation to a lot of you? That if the company has decided that they actually are looking after us and not just looking at the money that the company can make. Yes, the company wants to make money, no doubt about it. But they are also thinking of us, and that's why this is available to every person on the street. The boss, or should I say the CEO, could have already sold all shares. He had an option for someone to buy all shares, but he didn't want that. That was not his vision. He wanted to make sure that people like you and me, there's more people around the world that are benefiting from the company than one person that can buy all the shares. So yes, thank you for that question, Eric. Sorry, is there anything else you wanted to ask, Eric? Eric, did that answer your question? Is there anything else you wanted to ask? Okay. Not sure. Alright, thanks Eric for that. Sorry, he's not getting back to me, so I hope you heard that, and I hope it answered his question. Anyone else with a question, please raise your hand. Anyone else with a question, please raise your hand. Alright, there we go. Bentley, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm not sure if it's the right line of question. I had a leader that signed up yesterday. She bought about, I think it was 15 shares. But now she paid it, and then she didn't load the proof of payment on the account for Aureus. So I'm not sure if how she can sort that out, because she didn't use Binance to do the payment. She used she took money from the other project to do payment when she was getting payment from that. So she just inserted the wallet address for Aureus, knowing that it will automatically go. But she didn't know that after doing that, she must be adding the proof of payment, the hashtags. So I want to know how can we sort that out, because until now the shares are not showing in her back office, and we know why that.
Okay, very good question. And I'm going to say this now very straight, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. People, please adhere to the rules. If you know payment process requires this and this and this and this, don't allow someone to make a payment from somewhere where they cannot get the hashtag, they cannot get the transaction ID, like maybe using another platform, sending it from that platform as a withdrawal to Aureus then for a deposit, because then you're not going to get proper transaction things. You need to make it from an exchange or a Web3 wallet like Trust or SafePal or something like that, so you can track your transactions. So I'm not sure exactly how you're going to go about that, Bentley, but this again goes to education. As leaders, you should not allow someone to make a mistake like that, because we're talking about crypto here. And if you make crypto from one payment to another payment, it's going to be harder to track if there's no transaction ID that can say this payment was made, that's when it was made, from this wallet to that wallet and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly how to deal with that. Robert can probably try and sort it out with Johan with you, but it's going to be slightly harder if there is no transaction ID or if things like that were not taken note of when that happened. So just speak to Robert. You do have his contact details. He is in the group. I think you're in the same group. You can see it. Just speak to Robert and see if somehow Robert can assist you with that through Johan, because the two of them do speak and they understand each other. Let him maybe figure out how you can sort that out. All right. All right, Bentley. Bentley.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much. Yes, I can hear you now. Yes. Unfortunately, she just decided to be doing it. She's the one who did it. I knew that after paying, you need to do the hash and all that and all that. But she did it herself thinking that it's that easy. So just when she came to me, she said, I took your link, I bought shares. Now, when I said, okay, let us activate the payment, it was a problem now. So thank you so much. I will try and talk to the guy then on the group. Thank you.
Great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, folks, sometimes it's hard, especially when some people do choose to do something on their own. And that's why I have to admit, not everyone can do it, I understand. But I do admit that I do like what Rafiwa does with her people. I'm going to be straight. Folks, I don't work with everyone. Not that I don't want to. I just don't have time to be on everyone's, platforms wherever they are. But I do have a personal connection with Rafiwa at the moment. We're working closely together. And I know how she works with her people. And one of the things she does is she tries to walk them step through step on the onboarding process. And I like the way she helps educate her people. Even if it's not her person directly, well, maybe one of her downliners, so to say, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, however you want to refer to it in this type of industry. She still then says, get your upliner on the call, and then we do a three-way call. Because what she does is she shows them how to do it, but then at the same time the upliner is learning as well, because maybe they don't know how to do it. So folks, that's what I'm trying to say. We need to help educate people. Rather than let them make mistakes on their own, just say, whoa, slow down, let's do it properly so that we can make sure that what you are doing is correct. Because at the end of the day, this is your money you're putting down. And let's say Bentley, I don't know how many shares that person bought. Let's say they bought $100,000 worth of shares. Are you then going to just let them make a mistake with $100,000? Because first of all, it's their money. Second of all, it's your commission that is disappearing if it's not done properly. So folks, let's be mindful of that and assist people before they make the mistakes by saying, whoa, slow down. I don't want to give you a speeding ticket here. But I just want to make sure, let me walk you through it. Let me help you. Or if I can't do it, let me get you on a call with my upliner that maybe knows better. But let's just slow down, do it properly. Make sure we doing the payment correctly. We have the correct things to upload. And then you do it properly like that. Because I know, folks, I've made payments before to crypto industry payment platforms. And some of them, my money disappeared. I couldn't get it back. And I would hate for any of you to go through that as well and then say it was Aureus's fault because we had a lack of education or a lack of supervision where we could have done that or overcome it. So let's just be mindful of that for yourself as a leader, but also for the person you're inviting. When they join, you don't want them to have that bad experience from the start, because that already is going to give a bad feeling about the company. Because if they know they've bought shares, they know they've done the payment, but they're not seeing something, it's already going to make them feel bad about the company. You don't want that. You don't want that. So Bentley, I hope, reach out to Robert, let him go and assist you in that, and speak to Johan and see if there's a way that they can better that situation for you. Right? Thank you, man.
My number is on the chat.
No problem. No, but I know she can see your number. Bentley is in the groups. She knows she can see your number in the groups. Rafiwa. I don't know why you put your hand up. You can just talk, Mama. Mama Queen Money Honey. Money Honey in the house.
How are you guys? Regarding her issue. She did spoke to me and I told her that if there's no hash key or hash transactions, there's nothing that we can do. But she can get the wallet address from where the lady took the money from, right? But then the problem now is the transaction hash. So I just want to ask Bentley if there is any history on the app that the lady used when she would transfer the money. If there is any history, transaction history, then I think this issue can be resolved.
Yes, I also believe that, Rafiwa, because even on the Aureus website, when you do a transaction, it always tracks it with a transaction. It shows you that it sent it from this wallet to that wallet. So I also believe, even though you did it from another platform, let's say, somewhere there should be a transaction history. And you are correct in that. And that's why I say I used you as an example. You have overcome many of these problems before. And you know of where to find these problems. So there we go. Bentley, ask that lady, I think it's a lady you're talking about, right? Ask the lady to go look on that platform on the transaction history of when she sent that money to Aureus. Look if there is any details regarding that transaction, and then see if you can send that to Robert and potentially to Rafiwa as well, and let them both, because Rafiwa, I think, has a more direct line to the accounts department than most of us, because Rafiwa is like, I think she lives in the office with Johan. No, I'm joking. I'm just saying it's almost like she does, because whenever she calls Johan, it's like it happens. But anyway, that's just the benefits of being one of the top leaders. She gets that little bit of assistance a lot quicker. So Bentley, just try and find that out for us, and let's see if we can sort it out for this lady, or I don't know if you said it was a lady or a gentleman, for the person that bought these shares. All right. All right. Anyone else with a question?
Yes, gentlemen.
Anyone else with a question? Mom V, unmute yourself. Mom V, unmute yourself.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for a beautiful presentation. It's my first time, and wow, I'm fired up. This is beautiful, and it's the first time I came across this. I was just doing my own thing, and then Rafiwa's presentation just popped up earlier. Then I was like, there's no way I'm letting this go. I just want to join the Zoom meeting and get a sense of what is this. And I can tell you now, it's either I do it or go home. Thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. Paul. So my question is,
yes, ask, sorry.
my question is, if you pay with crypto, do you get your money or you get any payments from the company via crypto? Or if you pay through the bank, do you get your money through the bank? That's my question. No. Thank you.
Okay, so I think what you're talking about is your dividends or any money that you earn, so to say. Is that what you're talking about? All right.
Yes.
So
Yes,
both earnings and dividends are all going to be paid using crypto. All right, which means we will get paid in USDT. And the company has a smart contract where it sends it to a BEP20, which is a Binance USDT wallet. So you can have that BEP20 wallet on any exchange, decentralized or centralized wallet. But as long as you know, if you're going to use an exchange, there could still be, problems with that. I would rather go for a wallet where you control your seed phrase and your mnemonic phrase, like a Trust wallet, a MetaMask wallet, SafePal, or anything like that. You don't want to do it on exchanges because sometimes those exchanges can go offline or they can just disappear, and whatever money is there, you won't have control of it. But if you have your own wallet, like a SafePal or things like that, Trust wallet or anything like that, you can still control your money when you want to do it. But the company will have and send your money to what we call a USDT BEP20 wallet, which is on the Binance Smart Chain. All right, so that is all payments will be made like that. It's just cheaper for the company, it's easier for the company, it's quicker because you don't have to now worry about the company being global. Imagine if we were now to send money to people's bank accounts, how much more red tape there's going to be for that, with IBAN numbers, SWIFT numbers, and all these other things that take into consideration. No, it's going to be a lot harder like that. It's going to be easier just to quickly do it on a quick chain. That's why we're using Binance Chain and USDT, which is a stable coin generally. So it's much easier just to do that. And then when you get your money in whatever wallet it is, it's up to you to use it. And that's also why JP gives a very good example of why we get paid in crypto. I can't do it like him, but I love his explanation. I actually want to go and find that meeting I did with him sometime. I want to take out that clip on the importance of his version. Not that he's a financial advisor or advising us to do it to be wrong or anything like that. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's still up to you to disclose whether you are earning income or not in your country according to your tax laws. So just remember, it's up to you to disclose that. We can't tell you to bypass anything without you knowing that there's still the risk of them finding out that you're earning money. All right, because some people are going to go and spend money, even though it's crypto, they're going to go and spend money, and someone might notice and say to someone, hey, SARS, please go and check that person. They're buying a house now. Now they're buying a car. Now they're buying a business. Where are they getting that money? They're not even working. So folks, we just got to be mindful of how we spend our money. But we do know that cryptocurrency sometimes is not regulated in some places, and it makes it better for us in a way. But I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to even give you my example of that. I just know I want to try and bypass banks as much as possible because I just hate what happens with banks. If I can earn crypto, it also makes it easier. Like now, if I want to say or deal with Ian in Canada. Is Ian still in the house? Let me just check. I don't see. I think he's gone already. Yeah. So any case, let's just say I want to send money to Ian in Canada. I don't have Canadian dollars or whatever you call the currency over there. I don't have that. So I couldn't pay him in fiat currency. But I know if I had to send him USDT, it will go through now and he'll get the money and we can do whatever transaction we want. So I know the simplicity of being able to use digital currency in today's world where everything is now going AI and digital. If you're not on board with that, I don't know why countries are closing it down. Some countries are now against it. I don't know why. It just makes it so much easier for economies to survive if they allow people to use digital currencies. But that's just me. I'm not a guru. I'm not the one with this clout. My name's not Elon Musk. My name's not Bill Gates. I can't make those big decisions. I'm just a little man on the street, and I am a little man. I'm short, okay? I'm short, only 1.6. I'm not that tall. I wanted to be a jockey, but I fell off a horse years ago, and I never got, well, I won't say I never got back on that horse, but I just never got into riding horses like I wanted to because of that incident. So, folks, from the short man, with the name of Viljoen. So I'm Mr. Viljoen, and thank you for Mom V for giving us that. So I'm Mr. V. So Mr. V is saying, if there is any more questions, please put up your hand. If not, yes, you can laugh about it because I love laughing. If you're not laughing at me making you laugh, then I don't know. Come on, guys, come on. I should put everyone on unmute, and I want to hear you all laughing. Because why? We are going into the weekend. Folks, please, let's not stress. What you've heard today is potentially the change, the shift that you need. Make that shift. Take your chance. Tata ma chance, as they say. But this is not like lotto. I don't want to say you cannot lose here, because maybe there is still risks. I don't want to tell you that there aren't risks. But I do know, we don't call this an investment because it's not like a normal investment, but it's investing in your future if you use that terminology. But it's not an investment because you're buying ownership, you're buying shares of a company. All right? It's different to an investment, a financial investment. And that's why we also don't need an FSCA license. We are not a financial institution. We are a company that is selling shares, ownership of the company. All right, so folks, if there is no more questions or anything like that, I want to tell you that each and every one of you to me are like a $30 or 30 Rand bottle of water. I know you are more valuable than what you may even see yourself as. So I want to see you at the top because the bottom is overcrowded. And because I want to see you at the top, I know on Monday you guys are going to fly to the mountain again. You're going to meet me on the mountain with more people, because on Monday we're not just going to have 100 people in this room. We're going to have 300 people in this room. So I want to challenge you all to please bring 3 friends on Monday. 3 friends on Monday. 3 friends on Monday. Can we do that? Can we put the challenge out there? 3 friends on Monday so that we can have a full room, so that we can start changing lives. 3 at a time. 3 at a time. 3 friends on Monday. I want to put a challenge to everyone. All right. Thank you, guys. See you. Have a great weekend. Adios, muchachos.